In the far and dying future of the 41st millennium, where mankind survives on borrowed time and borrowed faith, there is one day, one impossible flicker of remembrance, when the Imperium turns its gaze backward, toward a single act of sacrifice that shaped the fate of humanity. A day of mourning, a day of fear, a day drenched in blood and yet worshipped as holy. This is the day of Sanguinala. The day of Sanguinala, Christmas in the grim darkness of the far future. To understand why this day matters, we must travel back to the moment where hope itself was murdered. Across a million worlds, under skies choked with smoke, pollution, or the fire of endless war, billions of imperial citizens gather in silence. Each year, on this same date, they remember the death of a being who embodied all that humanity could have been, but never became. His name was Sanguinius, the Angel, a Primarch, a warrior, forged by the Emperor, and the last line of hope during the final, desperate hours of the Horus heresy. When the War Master Horus betrayed humanity, it was Sanguinius who stood alone before him. The angel fought knowing he would not survive. His wings shattered, his body broken, his lifeblood spilled across the deck of the vengeful spirit. Yet he resisted until his final breath. His death marked the turning point of the war. Without it, mankind would have fallen. This ultimate sacrifice would echo across millennia, becoming the foundation of a holy day observed even in the darkest corners of the Imperium. But a martyr's death alone does not create a holiday. Faith, fear, and time do the rest. Many ancient Terran customs were lost in the old night, erased by warp storms and human cruelty. Yet fragments of old seasonal observances survived in inconsistent forms, rituals of light, hope, and remembrance whispered through shattered archives and half-remembered myths. Some imperial scholars quietly speculate that Sanguinala may echo traces of those forgotten Terran winter traditions, though nothing certain remains. What is known, and what is canonized, is that after Sanguinius's martyrdom, the early Imperium elevated the day of his death into one of its most sacred observances. From this veneration arose a new imperial holiday, Sanguinala. But unlike old Earth's gentle celebrations, Sanguinala grew under the shadow of the ecclesiarchy. In the Imperium, even memory must serve the state. Joy becomes obligation, worship becomes weapon. And so the day transformed. The warmth of family gatherings became the cold fear of doctrinal inspection. Songs of peace were replaced with hymns of sacrifice. Even harmless symbols of ancient festivity were discarded or repurposed into relics of penitence, purity, and unwavering loyalty to the angel and the throne. Sanguinala became a tool, a moral purification, a reminder of what humanity owes its heroes and what happens when it fails them. Across the Imperium, devotion takes many forms, most of them painful. To outsiders, the customs of Sanguinala may appear almost contradictory. They speak of gratitude, but express it through fear. They speak of hope, yet cloak it in mourning. Across the hive cities, red banners, echoing the red badge of Sanguinius, worn by many faithful on this day, hang from spires and hab-blocks. Statues of the angel are cleaned, polished, and anointed with sacred oils by ministorum priests. Families burn candles in cramped dwellings, praying for protection against the horrors beyond their world and the authorities within it. Offerings are placed at local shrines, scraps of food, handmade trinkets, even personal possessions of emotional value. These humble gifts are meant to show loyalty and to avoid accusations of insufficient devotion. For many imperial citizens, Sanguinala is not comforting. It is a test. Some planets, steeped in ecclesiarchal orthodoxy, require public displays of penance. Entire crowds kneel in the cold for hours, chanting litanies of grief for the angel's death. Others reenact Sanguinius's final battle in somber street processions, watched closely by the ever-vigilant Adeptus Arbites. In the Imperium, even holidays are dangerous. Yet none feel the weight of this day more heavily than the sons of the angel himself. For the Blood Angels and their innumerable successor chapters, the Flesh-Tearers, the Angels in Carmine, the Angels Vermilion, and many more, Sanguinala carries a weight few others can bear. These warriors carry not only their Primarch's legacy, but his curse. On Sanguinala, they gather in dimly lit chapels aboard their fortress monasteries and warships. There, brothers stand in silent contemplation, reflecting on their father's death. Some meditate, some weep. Some tremble under the pressure of the Black Rage, the psychic echo of Sanguinius's final moments that haunts their bloodline. In these rituals, veterans chant ancient sanguinary litanies, passages preserved since the earliest days of the Legion. Chaplains offer solemn lectures on courage, sacrifice, and restraint. And those who already show the signs of the Black Rage are watched with care, some destined for the Death Company, their minds shattered by the memory curse of the Primarch's last stand. For these Astartes, Sanguinala is not merely remembrance. It is a warning, a reminder that heroism and damnation can share the same origin. And even on the edge of extinction, humanity still clings to ritual. Even in the most forsaken corners of the Imperium, the day of Sanguinala persists. On frontier worlds ravaged by tyrannid incursions, survivors gather under scorched skies to whisper prayers for vengeance. In hive cities ruled by gang violence, citizens scrawl crude images of winged figures on metal walls, desperate for even symbolic protection. On frozen mining moons, orbiting dead stars, families risk precious fuel to light a single candle in honor of the angel. And in the depths of space, aboard ships trapped in warp storms for years, whole generations celebrate Sanguinala without ever seeing a planet, their only constant being faith, ritual, and fear. This is the power of the day. Even in a galaxy of ceaseless war, its memory endures. Not because it is joyous, but because it hurts to forget. In the end, Sanguinala reveals a truth the Imperium can never escape. To understand Sanguinala is to understand the Imperium itself. It is a holiday built on paradox, a celebration founded on death, a hopeful day in a hopeless age, a reminder of sacrifice in a civilization built on suffering. It is the closest thing to Christmas the 41st millennium has left, twisted by time, war, and doctrine into something recognizable yet deeply alien. For one day, humanity pretends it remembers what peace felt like. For one day, it imagines a galaxy not yet devoured by darkness. For one day, it mourns the angel who died trying to save it. And when that day ends, the Imperium returns to what it knows best: war, fire, survival. But deep in the hearts of its people, in the shadows of hive cities, the quiet corners of starships, and the blood-soaked chapels of the Astartes, the memory of Sanguinius flickers on. A fragile flame, forever, on the edge of extinction. If you've made it this far into the darkness, thank you for walking this path through the grim history of the Imperium. If you'd like to stand with us against the endless night, subscribe to the channel. Like the video to show your devotion. And if you wish to share your own Sanguinala traditions, leave them in the comments below. Until our next descent into the lore of the far future, may the angel watch over you, and may you endure the long night ahead.